Calvin Mackenzie live and uncancelled soon, but now it's time for my Royal Masterminds, Lady Colin Campbell and Phil Damber. And breaking tonight, police will not take any further action following an investigation into reports that honours had been offered in return for donations to one of the King's charities. This welcome piece of good news comes as palace sources briefed the Sunday Times that Charles, quote, realises that the main changemaker will be William when his son takes the throne and is happy to act as a steady-as-you-go monarch until then. Now, Phil Dampier, this briefing from Charles's allies 1 year into his reign has surprised you. Do you think the King could be making a mistake here, given how long he could end up on the throne? I mean, he's a healthy guy. He could be there for 2 more decades.
Yeah, good evening, Dan. I find this story very, very strange indeed. If it's come from somebody close to Charles with his authority, I'm absolutely astonished by it. I mean, we're not even a year into his reign. We all know it was going to be an impossible act to follow the Queen, and we all know we got a glamorous couple in William and Kate waiting in the wings. But, you know, within a year, to be sort of putting out there that he's finding the workload difficult when we know what a hard worker he is, and that he might be just what they call a stopgap king, I think it's a very strange message to send out. And I just wonder where this has actually come from. I'd love to know the source of this, because I can't believe that Charles is happy with sending out a message like that.
And so you're thinking, could someone be unwell, or is there potentially going to be a plan to abdicate? That's what's on your mind, Phil?
Is there more to this? Are they sort of preparing the ground that maybe, you know, I mean, there are a lot of rumours about his health. I haven't seen any hard evidence of it. There are certainly rumours about Camilla's health. But are they preparing the ground for him to abdicate in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, and hand over to William? I just don't know. I just find it a very strange, the timing of it, very strange indeed. He hasn't been to any countries yet that he's head of state in, and yet we're getting this stuff coming out. So it's very odd.
But Lady C, you actually think this is the right approach for King Charles to take?
Well, I mean, the reality is that he's going to have a relatively short reign compared to his mother and his son. And, a good monarch effects change slowly. Change to be effective has to be slightly delayed and slightly less than people want. All the great revolutions have been as a result of change from the top by the monarch. And whether it was the French Revolution or the Iranian Revolution, to use 2 very convenient examples. So I think if the message is that such change as there will be minimal, I think that's a good thing, because they're opting for stability. And I would say when William comes to the throne, he's going to realize that a monarch needs to be a link from the past to the future in the present. And if you have too much change, you have instability.
Good point, good point. And now look, Lady C, I've got to ask you about this hilarious new photograph of Prince Harry that has caused a real stir, because his hairline appears to have been radically changed. So this is the mugshot. There it is from the Better Up website with the Duke as Chief Impact Officer, and it shows his previously thinning locks magically transformed. Now, Lady C, I think the reason we can talk about this is because do you remember how horrible he was about Prince William's hair loss in his hit job memoir Spare? So is this just another example of Harry's hypocrisy, even when it comes down to his hair?
Hypocrisy and vanity, Dan. I mean, it's a total fake. It's rather like Meghan's wonderful locks, all from Turkish virgins. But I mean, Harry doesn't even bother to dye the hair. He simply gets it faked on the website. But then the following day, you see sparsely populated Harry's head. And I mean, the whole thing's a joke, but it shows what idiots they really are. I mean, are we supposed to believe that fake picture is the reality? Or are we supposed to accept that the reality is he's balding and very rapid?
They wanted to reinvent themselves. Now they're the punchline. From royal dignity to desperate delusion, Lady Colin Campbell is calling it like it is. She says Harry and Meghan's latest stunt, yes, including that hairline, proves their image has become a global joke. Once upon a time, Prince Harry was the most beloved royal, charming, relatable, the people's prince. But now, according to Lady Colin Campbell, he's unrecognizable, both figuratively and literally. Lady C doesn't hold back. She says Harry's new look, the hairline revival, the rebranding, the desperate attempts to appear powerful, are just the surface of a much deeper issue: insecurity, image obsession, and total loss of royal identity. And Meghan? She's right there orchestrating it all, pushing the narrative, curating the image while the world laughs. Lady C calls the Sussex saga a circus act. She points out that Harry's every move, from hair transplants to Netflix docuseries, feels less like royal dignity and more like celebrity desperation. She even mocks the so-called hairline miracle, suggesting Harry's vanity has reached new levels. But beneath the humor lies something darker. A man who once embodied royal tradition now reduced to PR gimmicks. Lady Colin doesn't mince words. The whole thing is a joke, and the world knows it. That's not shade. That's a verdict.
Yeah, and I mean, Phil, look, this is why he was so stupid to slag off William for his hair loss and spare when his hair's going too. It was so stupid. I mean, I would never slag anyone off for thinning locks, let me tell you.
This is what living in California does for you, isn't it? It'll be plastic surgery next. But he's a bit sensitive about his hair, actually. I remember once I was talking to him at a Kensington Palace drinks reception, and I said to him, is it true that the Queen doesn't like beards? And he just snapped at me and said, why don't you ask her yourself? And walked off. So he's a bit sensitive, but I'm sure the people at their jobs recently are glad to know that they can waste money on touching up these photos.
Every detail, every rollout, every rebrand screams Meghan's influence. Lady C argues that Meghan has turned Harry into her project, her proof that she can repackage royalty like a lifestyle brand. From wardrobe coordination to hairstyle symbolism, Meghan knows how to sell an image. But here's the catch: the public isn't buying it anymore. Every fresh start feels faker than the last. Lady C claims Meghan's obsession with optics is destroying Harry's credibility. He's become, as she puts it, the mannequin of Montecito, a prince with perfect PR and zero authenticity. The backlash isn't subtle. Social media is ruthless. Every photo, every story about Harry's new look or Meghan's latest scheme sparks a wave of mockery. Lady Colin Campbell highlights this humiliation, not as gossip but as consequence. The Sussexes built their empire on attention, but now that same spotlight is burning them.
Now look, Daily Express newspaper leading today with news that Prince Andrew has been brought in from the cold by King Charles. That's because he's going to become the first family member to join him for his Balmoral summer break, in a move suggesting a significant improvement in relations between the brothers. And also, Phil, it doesn't look like King Charles is going to get his way in terms of kicking him out of his home on the Windsor estate, which is something that Andrew was very opposed to. Do you think there is a possibility that Andrew could be brought back in any formal capacity?
Was that to me, Dan?
Yes, sorry, to Phil.
Yes, sorry, yeah. No, I don't think he's going to come back as a working royal. I think that's out of the question. But what this shows is that at least they're talking, at least he's been invited up to Balmoral as a family. They're going to have a relaxing time. And I'm sure they will have talks about the future. But I think the main thing they all want is some sort of peaceful sort of period of reflection, expecting the Prince and Princess of Wales to be up there for September the 8th on the anniversary of the Queen's death. And I think basically they want to spend some quality time together. So he's still his brother. He's still going to keep talking to him, and he's still going to show that they're a family. Of course, Fergie's up there as well, apparently, and she's just recently had this mastectomy. So that's a nice gesture by the King to invite her, as he did at Christmas. But I don't think he's going to be coming back as a working royal anytime soon.
But Lady C, a lot more folk are coming around to your point of view on Andrew over the past few months, that actually, as more emerges about his accusers, that in fact there may have been a rush to judgment.
Well, absolutely. You know, I mean, I need to be careful what I'm saying on this program, but you know, the whole thing was a massive stitch up by David Boyes in terms of facilitating a possible run for the presidency by Hillary and protecting Bill Clinton. The whole thing was a massive stitch up, and I know this, I have to tell you, from a great friend of mine who is one of the top lawyers in this country, who has worked for and against, with and against against David Boys. And, this was also a way of them shutting down Virginia Giuffre because she had made accusations against Clinton, and they knew that when the action reached a certain point and the photograph could not be produced, that she would have to settle.
From late-night comedians to royal experts, the message is the same. The world isn't laughing with them anymore. It's laughing at them. Lady C believes this is the beginning of the end for the Sussex brand. She warns that Harry and Meghan's constant need for reinvention has stripped them of what little authenticity they had left. Once people stop taking you seriously, she says, you're finished. And that's the danger now. The Sussexes aren't seen as powerful rebels anymore. They're seen as walking memes. The hairline may have grown back, but the dignity? That's gone for good. Lady Colin Campbell isn't being cruel, she's being honest. The Sussexes wanted fame, but what they've earned is ridicule. From royal grace to late-night punchlines, this is the cost of playing the fame game. What do you think? Is Lady C being too harsh, or are Harry and Meghan finally reaping what they've sown? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for explosive royal commentary, no-spin breakdowns, and weekly truth bombs straight from the palace to your feed.